Diddy's last hope of avoiding prison is slipping away. Trump has confirmed he will not issue a pardon, and a $50 million bail request has already been denied. Sentencing just a month away, Diddy now faces the very real prospect of life behind bars. Lingering questions are, what exactly did he say to Trump that led to the refusal, and is there any path left for him to escape this fate?
Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do, still in jail or something. But,
Yeah.
he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you.
Yeah, and it's hard, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest,
Yeah.
It makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs.
I would say so.
Weeks ago, CNN confirmed that Diddy's lawyers had been in direct talks with the Trump administration over a possible pardon. Despite repeated denials, the White House acknowledged the discussions, leaving Diddy's legal team with no choice but to admit that. Attorney Mark Agnello revealed that Diddy himself instructed him to approach Trump with a simple plea: I need a pardon.
Your White House official declined to comment on, quote, speculation and told us any decision on pardons would come from the president himself. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnello, said he has not talked to the Trump administration about it. You mean to tell me that you really have nothing to do with a possible pardon right now?
Nothing. I have nothing to do with a possible pardon.
What is Sean Combs saying about the possibility of a pardon?
I think he knows I'm not political. We've never discussed it other than I tell him what's in the news about it.
And what's his reaction? Does he laugh? Does he say, let's look into it? What does he say?
Go tell him that I need a pardon. Go tell him I deserve a pardon. That's what he said.
How are you preparing him?
So, I tell him what the guidelines are. And the guidelines are about 2 or 3 years. And I tell him, the judge could go above the guidelines.
Do you have any regrets in how you tried this case?
It's a good question. Not really. Not really.
You call the relationship between Combs and Ventura a great modern love story. Ventura said she was physically and became addicted to drugs because of Combs.
I think that's what makes it. They're vehemently denied, and I know I respect that she said that. I don't think the jury concluded that happened. In terms of the drugs and the other stuff, I think that's what makes it a modern love story. I think she very much loved him, and I know he very much loved her.
Cassie Ventura's attorney told us that Agnello's description of the relationship is a, quote, complete disgrace and affront to survivors of domestic.
In a press interview, Trump admitted that he and Diddy had once been friends and even suggested he would consider granting a pardon. More recently, however, Trump remarked that Diddy was half innocent, a comment that framed the situation as a partial victory, but far from the full vindication Diddy had been hoping for.
Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot. I think when I ran for politics, he sort of that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Now, the final thing I want to say is this. I asked Joe Tacopina, what about Trump's comment? What does it do to the jury? and he thought it was a nightmare for Diddy that Donald Trump said this. And the reason he thinks that is when the jury goes into deliberations, they could end up saying, look, I mean, you know, even if we convict him, because we kind of think he's guilty, we're not sure he's guilty, but if we find him guilty, he's probably going to get pardoned because Trump kind of sent that message.
For years, those close to Diddy have whispered about the possibility of a presidential pardon. Suge Knight alleged that Diddy operated as a federal informant, counting on protection from prosecution. Despite authorities being aware of his activity, indictments never followed. Believing himself shielded, Diddy even spoke openly about his actions, convinced he was untouchable.
Do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure, don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like this. You know, I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he gets convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So, what's the word?
You think the President of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who allegedly killed a Jewish teenager or had him. So they don't care about that. It's all about, you know, what's in it for the long run and what the bucks say and what the power of the people want.
How does it go on for so long? You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He might not cut you off, but he was an informant. Did you?
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, he's not. The reason why these type of people get caught up, they always assume they bigger than the law because they part of the law, you know? And as you know, all these people get charged they ran.
The tide has turned against Diddy. Trump has made it clear that while he may forgive, he does not forget. During Trump's campaign, Diddy publicly criticized him and even launched his own political party. In a recent interview, Trump admitted that Diddy's past attacks make the chances of a pardon highly unlikely.
Got too serious of a point. And seeing what's going on, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking, it's real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
We're in a war. We're not taking this like it's a war. We're taking this like, oh, we're in a presidential election. No, we're in a war of love versus hate. The number one priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death for this man is white people.
Explain.
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war.
The biggest influence on Trump's shift against Diddy seems to be 50 Cent. As soon as rumors of a pardon emerged, 50 began sharing clips of Diddy's anti-Trump campaign, reminding Trump of the past attack. He even posted, "See, Trump don't like stuff like this, buddy. You ran your mouth too much."
White men like Trump need to be banished. Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. That's why this message is not just to black people. You know what I'm saying? This message is to everybody. You know, this man is really trying to turn us against each other and put us in a situation. America messed up.
President Trump even called him a good friend on a 2012 episode of his TV show The Apprentice. Problem is, some comments Diddy made about Trump in recent years as Diddy really enters the political realm. There's a video where he's speaking to radio host Charlemagne saying, if Trump gets elected, I really do believe in my heart there'll be a race war. In another video on Revolt, he says white men like Trump need to be banished. And by the way, you know who's not letting anyone forget this? Combs' rival 50 Cent took to social media recently, wrote, "See, Trump don't act like this, buddy. You run your mouth too much. And Donald doesn't take well to disrespect and doesn't forget who chooses to go against him. While working tirelessly to make America great again, there is no room for distraction.
he would consider pardoning anyone who was being mistreated, not Puff Daddy. And let me tell you, the idea of Trump pardoning Diddy is not getting a ton of...
Gandalf foresaw this a year ago, predicting that Trump would never pardon Diddy. Their friendship had ended, and Trump had no desire to face the backlash of defending someone with Diddy's reputation. Those close to Trump revealed he felt disrespected and had no intention of putting himself on the line for a man who had openly tried to humiliate him.
People that feel like Trump, he might pardon Diddy. First of all, he got to be charged and be in prison to be pardoned. You got to realize that the feds could take this case for 2, 3, maybe 4 years, and Trump will be out of office. You don't know how long the feds is gonna go on with this. You understand what I'm saying? You hear people talking crazy talk. Well, they ain't got nothing because, man, I've seen the dude sit behind bars for 2 years before he had his trial with the feds. And by the time a pardon come in, another year would come by. So that's just a whole lot of propaganda. Puff wasn't even with Trump like that no more. He was going against Donald Trump. Donald Trump is petty as 50 Cent. Do you understand that? You see how petty 50 is? Donald Trump is just as petty as 50, bro. And he's gonna look at it and say, yo, why should I help this motherfucker when he's talking shit about me? The Diddler. I seen them in a meeting together before. Al Sharpton, Wendy Williams, Puff Daddy, and Donald Trump at the Four Seasons Hotel downtown. And I'm sure he was telling them because all this shit is planned, bro. Yo, you know I'm gonna be president one day. I'm gonna need y'all support. But they flipped. You understand what I'm saying? They flipped. Because everybody was dealing with Donald Trump at one time. That was in the music record business and all that stuff like that. So my whole thing about it is, all that is propaganda, bullshit. They just having somebody, they need something to talk about. Donald Trump probably wouldn't on public views on fire.